So yes, welcome everyone. My name is Lori Kamala. I am the Director of Programs at Code the Dream, and I am really excited to share with you all more information about Code the Dream's Vamos Outreach app. I will go ahead and share my screen again. Let's see, everybody see that?
Yeah, we can see it, Lori.
Great, thanks. So let's see, to share what we're going to cover today. We are I'm gonna give you a little overview about Code the Dream. You will get to see Vamos in action through a tour of both the desktop app and the mobile app. We'll have plenty of time for questions, and then we'll get to talk about next steps for actually joining Vamos. We have, I believe, at least I'm not seeing everybody who's on right now, but I know that several folks who RSVP'd for this session are themselves part of organizations that are new Vamos users. So I suspect folks are wanting to just dig in a little bit more to some of the features, which would be great to be able to do as well. See throughout the time, please feel free to put any questions in the chat, and we will be able to, we should be able to address them all. So who are we anyway? Who is Code the Dream? Code the Dream is the tech nonprofit that built and that maintains the Vamos Outreach app. We are based in North Carolina, but we work throughout the country. And our mission is to create opportunity that changes lives, to build technology that benefits our communities, and to support the diversity that drives a more just and innovative world. And we do this in a number of ways. We offer coding classes through our CTD Learns, through our free code school. And those classes specifically target people who are underrepresented in tech, including people of color, women, immigrants and refugees, documented and undocumented folks. Code the Dream's original first name was actually Code for Dreamers. Since that time, we have grown and expanded a lot to serve people who, for a variety of reasons, may have obstacles to reaching their potential in the careers that they want. So after our classes in Code the Dream Learns, we then, our graduates become eligible to apply for a paid apprenticeship in our in-house software development shop called Code the Dream Labs. And that's where we build apps and web technologies that hopefully make the world a little better place. In our model, Code the Dream operates as a teaching and a learning shop. So many of our aspiring developers are coding on their first real project, and that requires a lot of oversight from senior developers who are part of our team, and to make sure everything works as it should. And that means the software that Code the Dream builds is absolutely could hold up against any other software from a professional development shop out there. But sometimes it takes us a little bit longer because, sort of like a teaching hospital, we have apprentices who are learning as they go. I wanted to share a little bit about our Vamos team. As you can see, it's a very large team. It's actually our largest team at Code the Dream. And actually, several of the apprentices who work on Vamos currently and in the past have actually come from farmworker families themselves. Irene, one of our first apprentices who was working on Vamos, herself lived in migrant housing in Western North Carolina growing up. And another apprentice who is now a staff member, both of her parents worked as farm workers, one migrating and one picking cotton as a seasonal worker. I think I've counted about 7 former and current Vamos team members who have a personal connection with agricultural labor. And I think that's something that makes this app really unique and special. Let's see. During our demos, you're going to be hearing today from Cruz and Andrea, who are senior developers who actually started as Code the Dream students and are now senior developers via video. And Brian and Elsa will also be here available to answer questions. So that'll be great. I just wanted to share a little bit about myself since I am up here talking so much. These issues are really close to my heart because my background is actually not in tech. It is in the immigrant rights and farm worker justice movements. I worked for many years in farm worker advocacy. I have driven down many dirt roads looking for labor camps. So I know how important a farm worker outreach app is. And coming back to this world in just a small way now, I can say that I'm really glad that we have Google Maps now, which did not exist when I was working in farm worker advocacy a couple decades ago. But not a lot else has changed. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to share Vamos with you all today. I see that there is a question about the recording being sent out. Yes, absolutely. We'll send it out to everybody who is both on the call and everyone who RSVP'd. So I want to give you an overview of the tool that we are here to talk about. Vamos is a desktop and a mobile app that was built for and with the collaboration of farm worker organizations to plan, navigate to, conduct, and report on visits to migrant and seasonal farm workers. Quick history of the app. I want to mention that we would not be here today without a volunteer with the Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry in North Carolina named Michael Durbin, who himself is a software developer. He, years ago when he was helping out on hurricane relief, he was the one who was going out to visit camps and thought, there must be a better way than all these paper maps and just asking, all the notes from all the various people who have this information in their heads. So he actually built the first prototype of the app and then turned it over to Code the Dream. So we all know how challenging farm worker outreach can be. If any of you would like to share in the chat what some of your outreach challenges have been, please feel free to do that. You know that one app is not going to solve everything, but we definitely hope that it can solve a few of the issues. I know what I remember is, first of all, just locating a camp, even knowing, is this the right place? If you don't have anything to go off other than your memory or someone else's memory, that was always a challenge. Keeping track and having so many different tools and so many different places, keeping track of who has made visits to which camps and how to connect that to maps. Those are all some of the issues that this app hopes to solve. So I think we're going to jump right into a demo. This is a photo here of Cruz Nunez. Cruz was actually in the very first cohort of Code the Dream classes way back when. And now he is our senior backend developer, and he is our technical lead on Vamos. So Cruz is going to talk us through I'm going to share a video of Cruz talking us through a demo of the web app. And this is about, I think, 8 minutes long or so. So and please feel free to just pop questions right in the chat and we'll get started.
Hello everyone, I'm Cruz Nunez. I'm the senior backend developer on Vamos, and I'm going to show you around the desktop app today. You will mainly use the desktop app for planning your outreach, while you will primarily use the mobile app while out in the field logging visits. So when we log into Vamos at app.vamosoutreach.org, you'll see at the top right that we are logged in as a manager for the Vamos demo organization. You only have access to the data in your organization, and the level of access depends on the account type that you have. As a manager, you have full control. There are also other levels like planner and user, which give you different permissions. Okay, so in Vamos, we call labor camps sites. And we can see these sites on this page as cards, but we can also see them as a table. And of course, every site has a location, and these locations can be plotted on a map. So this is the map view. So in all of these pages, you can search for sites, and you can use the simple search bar here, which will find a site by name, by group, description, street address, and things like that. But you can also make some more advanced searches and search for all kinds of data points, like find all sites with high priority. And these priorities are given to sites by you, and what you decide is a high priority site or not. What city they're in. Does this site have H2A workers present at them? Will there be workers at this site within, the next month? So we have a very powerful search feature, but for right now, I'm just going to search for the site with the name Hewitt. So I do get one site, and it's a little zoomed in. Let me zoom out a bit. You can see that this site is in Mill Spring. Now I can open up the card for this site on the map, and I can see even more information about a site if I click this View Details button. Now this is the site details page, where you can see all the information you need to know about a site, including if you need to know what this site looks like. You can add pictures here. You can also see all the information on this site to the right of the pictures. There's a section in here where you can see which groups this site is associated with. And groups in Vamos are just a collection of sites that is made by you with whatever criteria that you decide. You can make a group called Camps Near Our Office or Cruises Follow-Up Camps. It's really up to you. So here, this site only belongs to the 2023 outreach group. And if we go below here, we see the contact section. Here we see we have one contact, John Hewitt. They are a grower for this site. And then if we click on this contact, here we can see more details about this specific contact, what's their phone number, what company they're with, what type of contact they are, any farms that they're associated with. Right now they're only associated to this one farm we were already looking at, Hewitt Farm in Mill Springs, North Carolina, and it's a high priority site for us. Now if we go back to the site and we click on these icons at the top, instead of viewing the site details in this way, we can also view the site as it appears on a map. And if we want to move the site around, like let's say I don't like that this site is right on top of this other building and it's actually over here, this rectangle right here, I can click on the marker, drag it around, and let go. Now the app will ask if you are sure that you want to make this update. Do you really want to move this pin? I hit OK, and the information saves. Great. Now that we've seen that, we can move on to visits and notes. This is really the heart of the Vamos application. When you go on outreach, this is where you log what happens. Here you can see that there have been 3 visits from the same person, Joanna, once in May, one in June, one in August. We can click on one of those visits to see more information about that visit. Here, Joanna was just following up. They helped 2 people. There were a total of 4 workers here. Joanna was also with Greg, and they donated 4 hygiene kits to the workers. And the workers also had concerns about the plumbing in their housing. So that's a good thing to note. Now we know each group tracks their own set of information when they go on outreach. So organizations can add any fields that they want through custom fields. You can also use the donations field to track donations of items, workers' rights materials, etc. All of this information can be exported for tracking purposes later in the exports drop down at the top of the nav bar. Okay, now that we've seen visits, we can look at notes. Notes are used to indicate problems in camps or things needing a follow-up, and you can indicate the priority level for these notes. For example, in this site, Hewitt Farms, we see here that on September 4th, an outreach worker reported that they had a high priority issue with pesticide exposure and the clinic needed to be sent. Great way to track that information. And as you can guess, the color on the left-hand side is what indicates the priority, and you can see these colors on the map as well. That's why this site appears as red on the map. And so if we go back to see all the sites in the map view, we'll see sites show up in many colors: red, yellow, green. So we can guess that the sites in red need some more attention. The ones in yellow may be slightly less attention, and the ones in green are okay, that we don't need to do any further checkups on them. Okay, now for the best part. What if we want to actually plan an outreach? How would you do that? In Vamos, you can do that with the routes feature. If we go to the top of the navigation, click on routes, we can start a new route and say, we can call it the December 2022 outreach. All right, so if I want to look at some high priority sites that are concerning, we could use the advanced search here for high priority sites. Hit search. Now we just get just the red ones, and if I'm going to be in the, I don't know, Boone area, seems like there's a lot of concerning sites over here. I can add them to the route with this map that we see here. And as we see, as I open up the little pop-up window and click add to route, they appear over here on the right side as I'm building my route. Now, once you have all the sites that you want in your route, you can then see the trip details of that route with path mode. So based on the order that we've given Vamos, this is the path that it looks like we would take. But if we're not happy with this order, we can move things around and the map will update. For example, if I want to start from this 4th position and then go 1, 2, 3, and I can just move 4 to the top, wait a second, and then the route will update. And I also get an estimate of how far these sites are from each other and how long it will take to drive from all the locations. Now, if we scroll to the bottom here, we can also see turn-by-turn directions as well at the bottom of this page. If you need to print these directions out, you can do that as well. Oh, one more thing is that you can also open this route up in Google Maps. And if you want Google Maps to give you directions, you can do that as well through Vamos. And finally, just a reminder, you can use the export functions that we have in Vamos for any of your reporting needs whenever you need to write grants or any other needs that you may have. And yes, thank you for checking out Vamos. This was the Vamos web app at app.vamosoutreach.org.
Right. Thank you, Cruz. He is not with us today because he is busy coding on Vamos. We are going to get to the details later. I see Maria's question about the cost. There is a cost to Vamos, we're going to talk about it later. But also we want to figure out all of the best ways we can work with our partners, including co-writing grants and other things to be able to cover the cost so that everyone who could benefit from Vamos has access to it. You probably have more questions, but let's go on to see a very brief mobile app demo. So these are our front end leads, Andrea Hernandez Guzman and Brian Espinosa, who's here with us. And Andrea is going to narrate the video for our mobile app demo so you can see what it looks like on your phone.
When you first log into the mobile app, you will see a list of sites that populate based on your location. At the bottom menu, you have easy access to your sites, visits, notes, groups, and routes. But this sites page is your home page, and it's where you'll access the site search. You can also view these sites on a map. You can change which sites you are viewing by doing a search. At the top, there's a search bar that you can press to open the search filters. We'll be doing a search by name, county, and radius. Let's take a look at an individual site. This is where you'll view the site details. And here you can see previous photos you've taken or uploaded of the site, or take a new photo of the site right from the app. You can view which groups this site belongs to, or add it to a new group. If you're out on outreach and realize that the map has the site in the wrong location, you can also drag the map marker to the correct location, and the latitude and longitude will update without changing the actual address. You can also see which contacts are associated with this site, and you can see past visits and notes made for the site. Say you are out on outreach and ready to add details of your visit. We can press on the plus icon to add a new visit and fill it out with all the details. In the desktop app, you can add custom fields for your organization, and all those will show up here as well. And if you encounter an issue you want to make a note of, here's where you do that. Similar to the visits, we can press on the plus icon to add a new note. By assigning the note a priority level, Vamos color codes it, so you can view those priorities directly on the map. If you want to create a site in the field, here's how you do that. Going back to the sites page and pressing on the plus icon to add a new site. All information syncs up in real time with the web app, so you never have to worry about losing information. Next, let's check out routes. This is one of the main ways you will be using Vamos in the field. Once you create a route on the desktop app, you can then use it to navigate to your camps in the mobile app. We just click on routes at the bottom, and you can see a list of your organization's created routes. Once you choose which route you want to take, you press it, and you can see a list of the sites in the route. You can click on each site to get to the site detail page to enter your visits. You can also press on the Open in Maps button to view the whole route in Google Maps. So that's pretty great.
All right, thank you, Cruz and Andrea in absentia. Before we get into questions, I just wanted to touch briefly on sort of the workflow of how we anticipate people using Vamos. So the first step would be, preparing to use Vamos. So that means formatting and importing your data, which we can talk about a little bit more. Someone did ask a question of if it comes preloaded. It does not, because we don't have any way of knowing what camps you want to be tracking or want to be visiting. So each organization will load their own data, and also because you're the only ones that have access to that data, it's not shared with other organizations. But we do give you some assistance and how to, and a really thorough guide for how to format your data and get it ready for import. So you'd format and import all your data. You'd decide who within your organization you want to have access to Vamos and what level of access. You'd create your custom fields in Vamos. That is as Cruz mentioned, that is the way that you can basically replicate your own outreach sheets or employer information sheets. And then when you're actually using Vamos, as was mentioned, you really use the web app to plan that outreach. You'd use that advanced search capability to prioritize which camps you want to visit. It's a really amazing and powerful tool, the advanced search, because you can find things, as was mentioned, by priority, by last visit, etc. Also, you can use from the web app, you'll be creating your routes. And then of course, you'll use the mobile app when you're out conducting the outreach to create your visits and notes and everything like that. And then later you'll be back on the web app being able to export your data to report on whatever you need. So that's sort of some of the workflow of how that would go. And now I'm gonna stop sharing and stop share. And yeah, if anybody wants to turn on their cameras now is a good time, and we can answer some more questions. I will get it back to the cost in a minute. I see Christiane has a question. Can we enter data through navigation, for example, using Google Maps and importing the location of the camp visited to the map? Could I return to the last page? Okay, I'll do that in just a second. Yes, what you would actually do, we actually have a new client who just messaged me today about this. What they did is they had stored all of their sites in Google Maps. They were able to export those into latitude, longitude format. And then that is what you would then put into the Google spreadsheet that Vamos uses for importing. I don't know if that answers your question, or if Brian has anything to add to that about the locations and importing.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And it sounds like it did answer the question. Thanks, Laurie.
Are there other questions? Okay, I will go into the cost now. If some of you,
questions.
go ahead. Oh, Alicia, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that was me. Yes, Alicia. Alicia's name pops up. Hi, Jesse here with Great Lakes Bay Health Centers in Saginaw Bay City, Michigan. My question is, are we able to import any kind of forms, like our registration forms? Are we able to do that or no?
Like registration form, like migrant housing registration, or what sort of form?
For example, yes, our registration forms, are we able to upload that to this app to have it accessible to us everywhere we go?
So what you can do is, I don't think there's a way to upload a separate form. There's two ways you can handle that. One is you could recreate the form using custom fields, and that you could, if that data is already in there, you would be able to see it by the site. The other thing that is an option is that while Vamos cannot store documents, Vamos does have the capability to offer links, hyperlinks. So if you have a document, for example, that is in, you have uploaded to a Google Drive and you have a link to it, you could put that link into Vamos and you'll be able to access it by clicking on it. Does that, I'm not sure if I answered your question.
You sort of did. It was more internal. What we do, we want to have access to these forms at all times. And well, that was my first question. You did, I think you did okay with that one. But my other one is patients. Are patients able to download this app as well? Sorry, I joined this. I was trying to get in here as soon as I could. And that's why Alicia's name pops up, because I didn't get the invite in time. But thanks, Alicia, for sharing. So are patients able to download this app, or is there a charge for them?
Patients as in like for a clinic?
For example, I'm a clinic. We visit several camps here. So I want to, that's the reason behind the form that I was trying to access to upload, so I can inform patients, hey, download this app and complete the form.
Gotcha. No, it is definitely not for patients or for or for probably not for workers themselves unless they're conducting outreach. It's really for the organization to be able to plan their outreach routes, where they're going, and to be able to keep notes on those. Vamos is not HIPAA compliant, so we do not recommend that you keep, personal information like, health related information in there. So in that sense, no, that this is not, I think this is not what you would use Vamos for. However, if there was another sort of form that was, not confidential health information, but a form that you use organizationally, like a report, say, on every time you go out to a camp, oh, we visited here, we distributed, or we did a blood pressure clinic, or whatever, you could definitely set up that information in Vamos, report on it through Vamos, and then be able to export it later on, if that's the sort of thing you wanted to do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, and I'm happy to try to answer more completely or better if that still wasn't very helpful. So I can go ahead and address the issue about cost. Any of you who are dealing with software know how expensive software is to maintain, and we're on the side of it where we're building it, and know how expensive and labor intensive it is to maintain. At the same, and we're trying to create something that's going to be sustainable for a long time to come. And at the same time, we also want to make sure, we really believe in the Vamos app, and we want to make sure that everybody who can benefit from it has access to this. We do have a sliding scale cost for Vamos, and it's all dependent on, what your organizational budget is, and your program budget, and how many people are going to be using it, and how many visits you're expecting to do out in the field every year. Our sliding scale cost has been from $1,000 to $5,000. As an annual cost, but we're now at the halfway point in North Carolina. It's based on North Carolina season. So we're sort of, at a midway point in the North Carolina season. And so it's all of those rates are 50% off for joining now, since we are in the middle of the season. And then we also, like I mentioned earlier, I just really want to emphasize, we want to work with you. So if this does not work with your budget, we know it's very expensive for small organizations. We want to work with you all to make sure that that you can contribute as your organization is able, and still be able to contribute towards the sustainability of Vamos. And we have partnered on grants with organizations. We have worked with organizations who cannot even meet the lowest end of our sliding scale. And we're willing to really try to be a great partner with you all, because y'all are doing the hard work of getting out there to meet with workers. And we want to really ultimately produce a piece of technology that's going to serve the workers themselves and the communities through your organizations as well. So are there any, let me share my screen again, and I will see. I will share. Okay. So yes, so you can see the Vamos partner registration form. That's the third thing down there, is tiny.cc/VamosReg. And then the dates and rates, that really goes through the actual cost of Vamos. But again, I just want to emphasize that we want to, I know that the cost is a lot. I have worked in farm worker advocacy. I know that it is a lot. And I want to really emphasize that we want to work with you all. It is expensive. It's expensive to maintain, and we want to work with you to make it accessible. Let's see what else. Yes, there is. You can go to this other I should put all of these links in the chat. Actually, if Brian or Elsa, if one of you could put those links in the chat, that would be great. Yeah, you can actually see the template spreadsheet for formatting your data if you want to get a sense of, oh, what do we have to do? What is that? What does that look like? You can go to this link and actually check that out to see. I will say that is definitely going to be the most laborious part, is getting all that data formatted the way that you want to go into Vamos. But then once it's in there, and it is just pretty amazing, all of the functionality that you can do with Vamos and getting all of your data and tools in one place. So, other questions? Oops. Okay. Thanks, Brian. Oh, someone had asked that I return to the previous page. I can do that. Was this the page that you wanted? Yep. Okay, great. Great. I'm just sort of curious, do you all see, would this be useful in your work, or you have systems that are working really well already? Or I'm always just curious to know, what is your dream farm worker outreach app? And is this checking most of those boxes or not quite? Oh, time investment. In terms of time investment, how long would it take to upload 100 camps? Oh, no time at all. Once the upload doesn't take any time at all. It's the formatting, like however you have your data, if you have a spreadsheet, or, if you're using, DOL work orders or whatever it is, it's just getting it into that format to match the spreadsheet that we offer. That's the part that takes a long time. The uploading is, it would take 10 seconds. All right. Well, I think we can officially close. I would please take my email, please. Well, I'm sure you all have it. But we want to stay in touch with you. Let's see.
I think we have one question, Lori.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please explain how this is done. For example, taking a DOL job order and transferring it to your app. So, there's a few different ways. Most folks have some sort of spreadsheet. The way that you upload data into Vamos is through a CSV file, or, a spreadsheet type of file. That's what you're going to have to use to upload the data into Vamos. So if you have a DOL job order like the PDF, you will have to get that information into spreadsheet format. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid, Trilla. They have a really fantastic completely free resource that I can try to look up on their site. Hang on. That actually helps download those DOL job orders into a spreadsheet format. Let me see here if I can find it here. This is a really, really great resource if you all are not familiar with it. It's completely free, and it can help you find H2A data that can be downloaded for any state. I'm happy to stay on as long as we want to continue answering questions. I did want to mention one last thing, just because we're on here. Code the Dream builds lots of cool apps, not only Vamos, and I wanted to share a few others with you in case it's something that you all might be interested in. Oye Text is a very affordable mass messaging program. Upstate is particular to North Carolina, but it is up to the minute legislative tracking. And then Conectate Carolina is a resource also specific to North Carolina, but it's something that we're really interested in piloting in other places as well. It's a resource for farm workers to help identify support resources in their area, and also sends out emergency notifications. Great. Let's see. Full prices. I will share. It's our sliding scale is about $1,000 to $5,000 is a sort of an annual subscription. But again, we want to be able to work with you and whatever you're wherever you're at. And there is. If you scroll up in the chat, you can see that there's one document called Dates and Rates for a subscription. And you can get all of that cost information there. Any other questions? All right, I will send out this information to you all, and will be available for any further questions, or if anyone needs to, is interested in connecting us with someone else in your organization, please just let us know. We'll be happy to continue the conversation.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.